The boy's legs gave out. His arms shook so hard the baby nearly slipped from his grip. 6 years old, barefoot on scorching pavement. 2 days without food. 2 days carrying his dying sister through the Arizona desert. He saw the motorcycle slowing down and screamed with every ounce of strength left in his broken body. "Please don't leave me behind." His voice shattered the desert silence. "Everybody leaves. Please, mister. She's dying. My sister's dying. I can't hold her anymore." The Harley's engine died. The Hell's Angel sat frozen, staring at the impossible sight before him. Then he got off his bike. Before we continue, please subscribe to follow this incredible story to the end. Comment below which city you're watching from. I want to see how far this story travels. Hawk Brennan hadn't spoken to another human being in 13 days. That was fine by him. People meant problems. People meant questions. Questions about the faded tattoos crawling up his neck, about the scars crossing his knuckles, about the Hell's Angel's patch he'd cut from his vest 12 years ago, but could never cut from his soul. His Harley rumbled beneath him. The Arizona highway stretched empty ahead, just him and the ghosts. "You're a coward." Scorpion's voice. Always Scorpion's voice. Whispering from 12 years ago like it was yesterday. "You walk away from your brothers for what? For strangers who don't matter?" Hawk twisted the throttle harder. The bike surged forward. He remembered that night. They'd handed him a gas can, pointed at a house where a young family slept. Mother, father, 2 kids under 5. "Burn it," Scorpion had ordered. "They testified against one of ours. Make an example." Hawk had walked up to that house. He'd seen the tricycle on the porch, the little shoes by the door, a child's drawing taped to the window, stick figures holding hands. "My family," written in crooked letters. And he'd seen something else. A face in the window. A little girl, maybe 4 years old. She'd pressed her hand against the glass and waved at him, smiled at him, trusted him. He'd dropped the gas can. No. One word. That's all it took to end his life. They'd beaten him for 3 hours. Scorpion himself had broken his jaw, cracked 3 ribs, stomped on his hand until the bones shattered. "You're dead to us," Scorpion had said, standing over Hawk's broken body. "And if I ever see your face again, you'll be dead for real." 4 weeks in the hospital, jaw wired shut, one eye swollen closed. When he finally walked out, everything was gone. His club, his identity, his purpose. Now he was just a ghost, riding highways that led nowhere, running from a past that never stopped chasing. The sun dropped lower, maybe 2 hours until dark. He'd find a spot to camp, same as always. Wake up tomorrow. Ride again. Then he heard it, a high-pitched sound cutting through the rumble. Hawk eased off the throttle. Listened. Not the engine. Crying. A child crying. His hands tightened on the grips. Every instinct screamed at him to keep riding. Someone else would help. Someone better suited. Someone who hadn't spent 3 decades doing things that would make that child scream louder if they knew. But the crying grew desperate, raw, the kind of crying that held nothing back because there was nothing left to hold. Hawk pulled to the shoulder. Dust swirled around his boots. He cut the engine. In the sudden silence, he saw them. A boy. No more than 6. Standing 20 feet from the road. Bare feet, blistered and bleeding on the scorching pavement. Clothes torn and filthy. Face streaked with dust and tears. but it was what he carried that stopped Hawk's heart. A baby. Tiny. Motionless. Wrapped in a blanket that might have been pink once, but was now brown with dirt and something darker. The boy's thin arms shook violently, but he clutched that baby like his life depended on it. Because it did. Hawk swung his leg off the bike. The boy saw him and stumbled backward. Terror flooded his face. "Stay away." His voice was raw, shredded by days of crying and thirst. "I got a knife, I'll cut you." Hawk stopped. He held up his hands slowly. "Easy, kid. I'm not going to hurt you." That's what he said too. The boy's whole body trembled. That's what the man at the gas station said. Then he tried to take Rose. "I won't let you take her. I won't." Hawk's blood went cold. Someone had already tried to grab these children. This small, broken boy had been protecting his baby sister from predators. 6 years old, fighting off monsters. "What's your name?" Hawk kept his voice low. Calm. The boy hesitated. His arms shook harder. The baby let out a weak whimper. "Eli." The word came out like a confession. "And this is Rose. She's my sister. She's only one." "Eli." Hawk repeated the name like a promise. "I'm Hawk. That's my real name. My mama named me Hawk because she said I had sharp eyes. Now we're not strangers anymore." Eli's eyes darted between Hawk and his motorcycle. "You're one of those bad bikers. I seen your kind on TV. You hurt people." "I used to." Hawk wouldn't lie to this kid. "But I don't anymore. Haven't for a long time." "Why should I believe you?" "Because I could have kept riding, but I didn't." Eli stared at him, processing. Lots of cars drove by. They all kept going. "Why didn't you—" Hawk didn't have an answer. Not one that made sense. Not one he understood himself. "I don't know, Eli. I just couldn't." Something flickered in the boy's eyes. Not trust. Not yet. But something close. "She's sick." Eli's voice cracked. "Rose is real sick. She won't eat. I ran out of formula yesterday. I tried to give her water from a creek, but she threw it up. She's so hot, mister." His chin quivered. "She was crying all night, but now she won't cry anymore. And that's worse. That's so much worse." Hawk took one step forward. Eli didn't run. "Where's your mama, son?" The question hit Eli like a physical blow. His knees buckled. He caught himself at the last moment, still holding Rose. "She won't wake up." His voice shattered. "I tried everything. I shook her and yelled at her and even hit her. And I'm sorry I hit her, but she wouldn't wake up. She was cold, mister. She's been cold for 3 days." 3 days. This child had been alone with his dead mother for 3 days, then walked through the desert carrying his baby sister. "Your daddy." Eli's eyes went hard, fear converting into hatred. "He's not my daddy. He's Mama's boyfriend. Vincent." The name came out like poison. "He hurt her. He hurt her real bad. Hit her all the time. She said we had to hide where he couldn't find us." "What happened to your real daddy?" "He died when I was little. Car accident. Mama showed me pictures. He had big arms like you. He used to carry me on his shoulders." Eli's voice softened for just a moment. "Rose's daddy was different. He was nice, too. But he died before she was born." 2 children. 2 dead fathers. One monster still hunting them. "Eli, what did Vincent say before you ran?" The boy's face went pale. "He said if Mama ever left, he'd find us. He said he'd take Rose. He said Eli stopped. His lower lip quivered. He said he knew people who pay money for babies. He said Rose wasn't his, so he could do whatever he wanted with her. Hawk felt rage building in his chest. The old rage, the kind that used to make him do terrible things. He's not going to find you, I promise. You can't promise that. You don't know him. He finds everybody. Mama tried to hide us 3 times before. He always found us. Eli's arms trembled violently. That's why she needed the medicine, to stay awake, to keep running. But then she took too much and she went to sleep and she won't wake up and I didn't know what to do and… His legs gave out. Hawk moved fast. He reached Eli just as the boy collapsed, scooping both children into his arms before they hit the pavement. Eli screamed, thrashed. His small fists pounded against Hawk's chest. No, let us go. You can't have her. You can't have her. Eli. Hawk's voice cut through the panic. Eli, look at me. Something pierced through. Eli stopped fighting. His wild eyes met Hawk's. I am not going to hurt you. I am not going to take your sister. I am going to help you. Do you understand? Eli stared at him, searching, looking for the lie, the trick. He didn't find one. Promise. His voice was so small. I promise. Eli's body went limp against Hawk's chest. The fight drained out of him. Exhaustion crashed over him like a wave. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The words became a chant, a prayer. Hawk shifted Rose into one arm. The baby was burning up with fever. Her breathing was shallow. Her skin was grayish. She needs a doctor. Right now. I know. Eli's eyes filled with tears. I tried to walk to town, but I couldn't find it. Everything looks the same out here. I kept walking in circles. I think I walked in circles all day yesterday. How far is the nearest town? I don't know. Mama was driving real fast when we left. She said we had to get far away. Then the car stopped working, and she said we'd walk. But then she got tired and we stopped, and she went to sleep and… His voice broke. I waited for her to wake up. I waited so long, but she didn't. And Rose was crying. She was so hungry. So I started walking. Hawk looked at his Harley, then at Eli, then at Rose. Can you hold on tight? Really tight. Eli nodded fiercely. I'm strong. I carried Rose for 2 days. I can hold on. I know you did, buddy. Hawk's voice caught. That makes you the strongest person I've ever met. He meant it. Now I need you to hold on to me and hold on to Rose. Can you do that? Yes, sir? Sir. The word hit Hawk somewhere deep. Nobody had called him that in years. Decades, maybe. He carried both children to his bike, sat Eli in front of him, unzipped his leather vest and wrapped it around Rose, creating a carrier against his chest. You hold on to my belt. Both hands. Don't let go no matter what. I won't. Eli's fingers gripped Hawk's belt with desperate strength. I never let go. That's my job. Hawk kicked the bike to life, and for the first time in 12 years, he rode toward something instead of away from it. The wind whipped past them. Hawk kept his speed controlled, aware of every bump. Eli pressed against him, small body rigid. Rose lay still against his chest. Too still. Talk to me, Eli. Tell me about your sister. What about her? Anything, everything. She laughs at everything, even when nothing's funny. Mama said she got that from her real daddy. What else? She likes my singing. I'm not good at singing, but she doesn't care. She kicks her legs when I sing the Itsy Bitsy Spider. His voice cracked. She hasn't kicked her legs since yesterday. She's going to kick them again. I promise. You promise a lot. I keep them too. Eli was quiet. Then, The man at the gas station promised he'd help. He said he had food and water in his truck. Hawk's grip tightened on the handlebars. What happened? I followed him behind the building, but there wasn't any food. He grabbed Rose, tried to pull her away from me. He said nobody would miss 2 kids like us. He said we were worth money. What did you do? I bit him. Eli's voice carried savage pride. Hard. On the hand. He screamed and dropped Rose and I grabbed her and ran. I ran so fast, mister. I didn't stop until I couldn't see the gas station anymore. That was brave, Eli. Real brave. I was scared. Brave doesn't mean you're not scared. Brave means you're scared, but you do it anyway. Eli thought about this. Are you brave? I used to think so. Now I'm not sure. You stopped for us. Nobody else stopped. You stopped. Hawk didn't have an answer. Mr. Hawk, yeah, what if Vincent finds us? Hawk's jaw tightened. Then he'll have to go through me. He's big and mean. He has guns. I've dealt with big, mean men with guns before. Did you win? I'm still here, aren't I? Eli was quiet for a moment. Mr. Hawk, yeah, buddy. I'm glad you stopped. Something cracked open in Hawk's chest. Me too, Eli. Me too. And the lights of Silver Creek appeared on the horizon. Small at first, then growing. Almost there. You did it. You got her this far. Eli's grip on Hawk's belt tightened. What's going to happen when we get there? First, we get Rose to a doctor. That's the only thing that matters right now. But what about after? One thing at a time. Your mama ever tell you that? Yeah, she said that a lot. She was right. Hawk saw a neon sign, Betty's Diner, open 24 hours. He pulled into the parking lot. Killed the engine. Eli didn't move. His hand stayed locked on Hawk's belt. We're here, buddy. You can let go now. I can't. His voice was barely a whisper. My hands won't open. I told them not to let go, and now they won't. That's okay. We'll do it together. Hawk carefully pried Eli's fingers loose one at a time. The boy whimpered, but didn't resist. He lifted Eli off the bike, set him on the ground. Can you walk? Eli nodded. His legs wobbled, but held. Hawk adjusted Rose against his chest. She still hadn't made a sound. Let's go. He pushed open the diner door. The bell jangled. Every head turned. Hawk knew what they saw. Massive tattooed biker. Dirty barefoot child. Baby wrapped in a gang vest. The diner fell completely silent. A woman behind the counter, mid-60s, gray hair apron stained, stared at them. Her hand moved toward something beneath the register. Don't. Hawk's voice carried clear and calm. I'm not here for trouble. This baby needs help. She needs help right now. The woman's eyes moved from Hawk to Eli to Rose. What kind of help? She's dehydrated. Fevered. Hasn't eaten since yesterday. Their mother passed 3 days ago. This boy's been carrying his sister through the desert ever since. The woman's hand came up from beneath the counter. Empty. Grace, get out here now. A door burst open. A younger woman rushed out. She took one look and moved toward Hawk without hesitation. Let me see her. I was an EMT for 15 years. Hawk let her take Rose. Grace checked vitals with practiced hands. Her face tightened. She's severely dehydrated. Fever of at least 103. We need fluids now. Do it. Betty, get the emergency kit. Call Doc Harrison. Pediatric emergency. Grace looked at Eli. Hi there, sweetheart. What's your name? Eli pressed closer to Hawk's leg. Didn't answer. His name's Eli. He's had a rough few days. Grace nodded. Eli, I'm going to help your sister, but I need you to sit down, okay? Eli shook his head. I have to stay with Rose. I have to watch her. You can watch from right there. Grace pointed to the nearest booth. But you need to sit down before you fall down. Eli looked up at Hawk, waiting. It's okay, buddy. I'll be right here. Eli hesitated. Then his legs gave out. Hawk caught him, carried him to the booth. I'm going to help Grace. You eat something. I'm not hungry. I didn't ask if you were hungry. I said eat. Eli's eyes widened, something comforting about being told what to do. Okay. Betty appeared with soup and chocolate milk. Here you go, sweetheart. Hawk moved to where Grace was working on Rose. The baby lay on the counter. So small. So still. Grace had set up a makeshift IV. How bad, if you'd found them an hour later? She shook her head. She needs a hospital. Real equipment. Nearest hospital. Mercy General. 45 minutes. Too long. Doc Harrison's 5 minutes out. He's old, but he's good. Hawk looked at Rose's tiny face. Eyes closed. Breathing shallow. She's going to make it. Grace looked at him. You a praying man? Haven't been for a long time. Maybe tonight's a good night to start. The door burst open. An elderly man with a black medical bag rushed in, went straight to Rose. What have we got? Grace briefed him quickly. Hawk stood back, feeling useless. He'd faced down rival gangs, survived beatings that should have killed him, but watching this tiny baby fight for her life. A small hand slipped into his. Hawk looked down. Eli stood beside him, chocolate milk mustache on his lip. Is she going to die? Hawk should have lied. I don't know, buddy, but she's fighting. I can't lose her. She's all I got left. Hawk crouched down. Eye to eye. Listen to me. You carried that baby for 2 days. You fought off a grown man. You kept her alive when nobody else was there. You're the reason she's got a chance. Whatever happens, you did everything right. Eli's eyes filled with tears. Then why does it hurt so bad? Hawk pulled him into a hug. Because you love her. That's what love does. Make it stop. Please. I can't make it stop, but I can promise you won't hurt alone. I'm here. The door opened again. Heavy footsteps. A sheriff stood in the doorway, badge glinting, hand on his holster. What the hell is going on here? Sheriff Ray Dawson had been in law enforcement for 30 years. He'd seen plenty, but this didn't add up. I asked a question. Hawk stood slowly, keeping Eli behind him. Found these kids on Highway 93, 15 miles east. Boy was carrying the baby through the desert. Their mother's dead. Been dead for 3 days. Dawson's eyes narrowed. That's so. And you just happened to find them. I stopped when I heard crying. Uh-huh. Your name, Hawk Brennan. Something flickered in Dawson's eyes. Recognition. Hawk Brennan. Why do I know that name? Hawk's jaw tightened. I used to ride with the Hells Angels, long time ago. Used to. I walked away 12 years ago. Nobody walks away from the Angels. I did. Dawson studied him. We got a bolo out of Phoenix this morning. 2 children missing. Mother found dead in an abandoned car 60 miles east of here. Suspected overdose. Hawk felt Eli press harder against his leg. That's them. There's more. Dawson's voice dropped. The boyfriend reported them missing. Vincent Cole. Said the mother kidnapped them. Said he's their legal guardian. That's a lie. Eli stepped out from behind Hawk. Vincent's not our guardian. He's a monster. He hurt Mama. He said he was going to sell Rose. Dawson crouched down. Easy, son. I'm not here to hurt you. That's what everybody says. Eli. Hawk's voice was calm. Let the sheriff talk. Dawson looked at the boy. Vincent Cole. Tell me about him. He hit Mama, all the time. He said if she ever left, he'd find us. He said he knew people who buy babies. He said Rose wasn't his, so he could do whatever he wanted. Dawson's face darkened. Did your mama ever tell the police? She tried once. They didn't believe her. Vincent has friends. He said the police work for him. Dawson stood up, looked at Hawk. I've heard of Cole. He runs drugs through Phoenix, connected to some nasty people. Is he looking for these kids? According to the Bolo, he's very motivated to find them. Hawk's hands clenched. He's not getting anywhere near them. That's not your call to make? Then whose call is it? Dawson was quiet for a moment. That baby needs a hospital. We can sort out the rest after she's stable. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I'm going to run your name, find out exactly who you are, and if I find out you had anything to do with what happened to their mother, you won't, because I didn't. Dawson held his gaze. Mercy, General. 45 minutes. I'll escort you. Doc Harrison looked up. She can travel, but we need to move now. Dawson pulled out his keys. My car. It'll be smoother than a motorcycle. Grace, you ride with the baby. What about me? Eli's voice was small. Hawk crouched down. You're coming with us. I promised I wouldn't leave you. But the sheriff's helping us. He's going to get Rose to the hospital. Eli swallowed hard. You'll stay with me. Right beside you. The whole way. Eli let go of Hawk's leg. Stood up straight. Tried to look brave. Okay. Let's go save my sister. They moved toward the door. Betty pressed a bag into Hawk's hands. Sandwiches, for the boy. He barely touched his soup. Thank you. You take care of those children, you hear me? Hawk nodded. With my life. They stepped into the night. Dawson's cruiser waited, lights flashing. Hawk helped Eli into the back seat. Grace climbed in with Rose, keeping the IV steady. Eli grabbed Hawk's hand. You promised. I know. Don't break it. Hawk looked at this small, fierce, broken boy. This child who had walked through hell to save his sister. I won't. He climbed in beside Eli. Dawson started the engine. The cruiser pulled onto the highway lights, cutting through the darkness. 45 minutes to the hospital. 45 minutes to find out if Rose would live or die. And somewhere out there Vincent Cole was hunting. But he'd have to go through Hawk Brennan first. And Hawk Brennan had 12 years of rage to unleash on anyone who tried to hurt these children. He looked down at Eli, who had fallen asleep against his shoulder. At Rose, still fighting in Grace's arms. For the first time in 12 years, Hawk Brennan had something worth fighting for, and God help anyone who got in his way. The cruiser tore through the darkness, sirens wailing, lights flashing. Every second counted. Eli jerked awake against Hawk's shoulder. Where are we? Where's Rose? She's right here, buddy. Grace has her. We're almost at the hospital. Eli twisted around to look. Rose lay limp in Grace's arms, the IV tube snaking into her tiny hand. She's not moving. Why isn't she moving? She's resting, saving her strength. She looks dead. The words hung in the air like poison. She's not dead, Eli. She's fighting. How do you know? Because she's your sister, and you taught her how to fight. Grace looked up from Rose. Her pulse is weak but steady. She's hanging on. Eli's hand found Hawk's again, squeezed hard. Talk to her, Eli. Let her know you're here. Eli leaned forward. Rose. It's me. It's Eli. I got you help, okay? I found someone good. He's not like Vincent. He's not like the man at the gas station. He stopped for us. Nobody else stopped, but he did. Rose's tiny hand twitched. She heard me. Did you see that? She moved? Grace smiled. Keep talking. She knows your voice. Rose, remember when I used to sing to you? Remember the itsy-bitsy spider you used to kick your legs? You're gonna kick your legs again, okay? You have to. Because I can't do this without you. You're my sister. You're all I got. Hawk felt something burning in his eyes. He blinked hard. Dawson's voice came from the front. 5 minutes out. I radioed ahead. They're ready for her. Did you tell them about Vincent? Dawson met Hawk's eyes in the rearview mirror. I told them these children are in protective custody. Nobody gets near them without going through me. And if Vincent shows up, then he'll have a problem. Eli looked up at Hawk. Vincent always finds us. Mama said he has eyes everywhere. She said he knows people, bad people. I know bad people too, Eli. Are you a bad person? Hawk thought about it. I used to be. Real bad. Did things I can't take back. But you're not bad now. I'm trying not to be. Eli was quiet for a moment. Mama used to say people can change. She said she was gonna change. Get clean. Get us away from Vincent for good. She said we were gonna go to California. Live by the ocean. I never seen the ocean. Maybe you will someday. Will you take us? The question hit Hawk like a punch to the chest. Let's get Rose better first. One thing at a time, remember. Yeah, one thing at a time. The cruiser pulled into the hospital emergency bay. Doors flew open. People in scrubs rushed toward them. Pediatric emergency, severe dehydration, 14-month-old female. They took Rose from Grace's arms. Eli lunged after them. Wait, that's my sister. Where are you taking her? Hawk grabbed him. They're helping her, buddy. They're doctors. I have to stay with her, I promised. And you will. But they need to work on her first. They need space. Eli struggled against Hawk's grip. No. Every time someone takes her away, something bad happens. Every time, a doctor turned back. Is this the brother? Yeah. He's been taking care of her for 3 days. Won't leave her side. The doctor crouched down. What's your name, sweetheart? Eli. And that's Rose. She's my sister. She's only one. She likes being held on the left side, not the right. She gets fussy on the right. And she doesn't like loud noises. And she kicks her legs when she's happy. But she hasn't kicked her legs since yesterday. And Eli. The doctor's voice was gentle. I'm Dr. Chen. I'm going to take very good care of Rose. I promise. But I need you to wait out here for just a few minutes. Can you do that? I don't want to. I know. But sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do to help the people we love. Eli looked at Hawk. Will you stay with me? Right here, not moving. Eli turned back to the doctor. Okay. But if she cries, I need to go to her. That's the rule. When she cries, I go. If she cries, I'll come get you myself. They wheeled Rose through the double doors. Eli watched until she disappeared. Then his whole body started shaking. Hawk pulled him close. You did good, buddy. You got her here. That's all that matters. What if she dies? She's not going to die. You don't know that. You can't promise that. Hawk was quiet. The kid was right. He couldn't promise that. No, I can't. But I can promise I'll be here no matter what happens. You won't face it alone. Eli buried his face against Hawk's chest. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I know. I haven't slept in, I don't remember, maybe 3 days, maybe more. You can sleep now. I'll watch for both of us. What if something happens while I'm asleep? Then I'll wake you up. Promise. Promise. Eli's body slowly relaxed. His breathing evened out. Within minutes, he was asleep. Hawk held him, staring at the double doors where they'd taken Rose. Dawson approached. I ran your name. Hawk didn't look up. And you're exactly who you said you are. Hawk Brennan, former Hell's Angels, multiple arrests, assault, weapons. Did 18 months in county for beating a man half to death outside a bar in Flagstaff. He had it coming. That's what they all say. He was selling kids. Dawson stopped. What? The man I beat. He was running girls through Phoenix, young ones. 12, 13 years old. I found out. I handled it. Why didn't you report it? Hawk laughed bitterly. Report it to who? The cops who looked the other way. The judges who got paid off. I did what had to be done. He never sold another kid after that. Dawson was quiet for a long moment. That's not in your file. A lot of things aren't in my file. What else? You really want to know? I really want to know why a man with your history is sitting here holding a sleeping child like he actually gives a damn. Hawk looked at Eli. The boy's face was peaceful in sleep. Innocent. Because I used to be that kid. Different circumstances. Same result. Alone. Scared. Nobody coming to help. What happened to you? Foster care. Group homes. Aged out at 18. Joined the Angels 6 months later. They were the first people who ever made me feel like I belonged somewhere. And then you left. They asked me to burn a house with kids inside. I said no. Dawson nodded slowly. That's when you disappeared. Spent 12 years running, riding highways, going nowhere. Figured I'd just keep running until I died. What changed? Hawk looked at the double doors. I heard a kid crying, and something inside me just broke. In a good way. Does that make sense? More than you know. The doors opened. Dr. Chen walked out. Hawk's heart stopped. He tried to read her face. She's stable. The words hit him like oxygen after drowning. She's going to be okay. The next few hours are critical. She was severely dehydrated and malnourished. We've got her on fluids and antibiotics, but she's responding well. Can I see her? He'll want to see her when he wakes up. Give us about an hour to get her settled. Then yes. Thank you. Dr. Chen looked at Eli, still sleeping against Hawk's chest. That boy saved her life, you know. Another hour or two in that desert. She didn't finish the sentence. He's stronger than anyone I've ever met. He's going to need help. Both of them are. Trauma like this doesn't just go away. I know. Are you family? Hawk hesitated. No. Friend of the family. I found them on the highway a few hours ago. Dr. Chen's eyes widened. You just found them? I stopped when I heard crying. Most people wouldn't have. I'm not most people. She studied him for a long moment. No, I don't suppose you are. She went back through the double doors. Dawson sat down next to Hawk. CPS is going to be here in the morning. I figured. They'll want to place the kids somewhere. Together. That's not always how it works. Hawk's arms tightened around Eli. Then we make it work. You have no legal standing here, Brennan. I don't care about legal standing. I care about that boy. He's been through hell. He walked through a desert carrying his dying sister. He fought off a predator at a gas station. He watched his mother die. And you want to put him in some group home and ship his sister off to strangers? That's not what because if that's the plan, you're going to have a problem. Is that a threat? Hawk met his eyes. That's a promise. Dawson leaned back. You know I should arrest you right now. Threatening a law enforcement officer. But you won't. Why not? Because you know I'm right. You've seen kids go through the system. You know what happens to them. Dawson was quiet. My sister went through foster care, bounced from home to home, ended up on the streets at 16. What happened to her? Overdose, 23 years old. Hawk nodded slowly. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Just don't let it happen to them. I'm trying. Try harder. Eli stirred. His eyes fluttered open. Is Rose okay? She's stable, buddy. The doctor says she's doing better. Can I see her? Soon. They're getting her settled. Eli sat up, rubbing his eyes. How long was I asleep? About an hour. That's the most I've slept in days. You needed it. Eli looked around the waiting room. I don't like hospitals. Mama was in the hospital once. After Vincent hurt her really bad. They asked her questions. She lied. Said she fell down the stairs. But we don't even have stairs. Why did she lie? Because Vincent said if she told the truth, he'd kill me. He said he'd make her watch. Hawk's hands clenched into fists. He's never going to hurt you again, Eli. I promise. But what if he finds us? Then I'll be ready. He's really mean, Mr. Hawk. Really, really mean. He has a gun. He showed it to me once. Said if I ever told anyone about him, he'd use it on Rose. Did you tell anyone? Just you and the sheriff. That was brave. I'm tired of being scared all the time. A woman in a suit walked into the waiting room. Sharp eyes, clipboard in hand. Dawson stood up. Thornton, I wasn't expecting you until morning. The hospital called. Said we had a situation. She looked at Hawk, then at Eli. Her expression hardened. I'm Patricia Thornton, Child Protective Services. Eli pressed against Hawk's side. Are you going to take me away from Rose? I'm here to make sure you and your sister are safe. We are safe. Mr. Hawk found us. He saved us. Thornton looked at Hawk. And who exactly are you, Hawk Brennan? Are you a relative? No. Foster parent? No. Then in what capacity are you with these children? I found them in the desert. I brought them here. That doesn't give you any legal standing. I don't care about legal standing. Thornton's eyes narrowed. Mr. Brennan, I've been doing this job for 20 years. I've dealt with people like you before, people who think they can swoop in and play hero. But this isn't a movie. There are rules. Procedures. Your rules and procedures are going to get these kids separated. Placement decisions are made based on available resources. Then find better resources. Excuse me, you heard me. This boy walked through a desert for 2 days carrying his baby sister. He fought off a predator who tried to kidnap them. He watched his mother die. And you're going to reward that by taking his sister away. I'm not rewarding anyone. I'm following protocol. Then change the protocol. Thornton's face flushed. Mr. Brennan, I don't know who you think you are, but I'm the guy who stopped. I'm the guy who was there when nobody else was. I'm the guy that boy trusts right now. Maybe the only person in the world he trusts. Hawk's voice dropped. So you can take your protocols and your procedures and your clipboard and you can figure out how to keep these children together. Because if you separate them, that boy is going to run. Guaranteed. He'll find a way out of wherever you put him and he'll go looking for his sister. And next time there might not be anyone to find him. Thornton stared at him. Dawson stepped forward. He's right, Patricia. I've seen the boy. He's bonded to that baby like nothing I've ever seen. Separating them would break him. Sheriff, I don't tell you how to do your job, and I don't usually tell you how to do yours, but this is different. Eli tugged on Hawk's sleeve. What are they talking about? Nothing, buddy. Don't worry. They want to take me away from Rose, don't they? Nobody's taking you anywhere. You can't stop them. Watch me. Thornton took a breath. There's a foster family in Phoenix, the Hendersons. They're licensed for siblings. I can make a call. Phoenix. It's the closest placement available for 2 children. How far is Phoenix? 4 hours. Eli's eyes went wide. 4 hours? But what about Mr. Hawk? He won't be able to visit me. Thornton looked at him. Mr. Brennan isn't your family, sweetheart. He can't. He's more family than anyone else. He stopped for me. He carried me. He stayed with me. He promised he wouldn't leave. Eli was crying now. Everyone leaves? Everyone always leaves. But he didn't. And now you want to take me away from him too. Hawk pulled him close. Nobody's taking you anywhere tonight. Okay, we're going to figure this out. Thornton's expression softened slightly. We'll discuss this in the morning, after the children have rested, after we know more about the baby's condition. Fine. But Mr. Brennan, you need to understand something. You have no legal rights here. Whatever happens with these children is not your decision to make. Hawk met her eyes. Maybe not. But I'll be here anyway. Every step of the way. And if anyone tries to hurt them, they'll have to go through me first. Thornton stared at him for a long moment. Get some rest. All of you. She turned and walked away. Dawson sighed. You really know how to make friends. I'm not here to make friends. What are you here for? Hawk looked at Eli. I'm here because he asked me not to leave. Dr. Chen appeared at the double doors. Eli, would you like to see your sister? Eli jumped up. Yes. Can I touch her? Gently, but yes. He grabbed Hawk's hand. Come with me. Please. They followed Dr. Chen through the doors, down a hallway, into the pediatric ICU. Rose lay in a small bed surrounded by machines. Wires and tubes connected her to monitors that beeped softly, but her color was better. Pink instead of gray. And when Eli approached her, eyes opened. Rose, it's me, it's Eli. He rushed to her side, reaching for her hand. I found help, Rose. I told you I would. I told you. Rose's tiny fingers wrapped around his, and she smiled. Eli started crying. She knows me. She still knows me. Of course she knows you, buddy. You're her brother. I thought maybe she'd forget. We were walking for so long. I thought maybe she'd forget who I was. She'll never forget you. Never. Eli leaned down and kissed Rose's forehead. I'm here, Rose. I'm not going anywhere. We're safe now. Mr. Hawk saved us. He's a good guy. I know he looks scary, but he's not. He's the best person I ever met. Hawk's throat tightened. The best person I ever met. Nobody had ever called him that. Nobody had ever come close. Mr. Hawk, yeah, buddy, thank you for everything. You don't have to thank me. Yeah, I do, because you didn't have to stop. You could have kept riding, but you didn't. You chose to help us. Eli looked up at him with those old soul eyes. Why did you choose us? Hawk thought about the question. Really thought about it. Because I was you once, a long time ago, scared, alone, nobody coming to help. I know what that feels like. But someone helped you eventually, right? Someone came. No, nobody came. I had to figure it out on my own. And I made a lot of mistakes. Bad mistakes. Hurt a lot of people. But you're not like that anymore. I'm trying not to be. Is that why you stopped, because you wanted to be different? Hawk looked at Rose, then at Eli, then back at the machines keeping this tiny baby alive. I stopped because when I heard you crying, something inside me said, this time stop. This time be the person you wish someone had been for you. Eli nodded slowly. I'm glad you listened. Me too, buddy. Me too. A nurse approached. Visiting hours are over, but given the circumstances, we can set up a cot in the room for the boy. What about him? Eli pointed at Hawk. He has to stay too. He promised. The nurse looked at Hawk, at the tattoos, at the leather, at the hard face that had scared people for decades. I suppose we can make an exception. There's a waiting area just outside. It has a couch. I'll take it. They got Eli settled on the cot next to Rose's bed. The boy insisted on holding his sister's hand through the bars. Mr. Hawk, yeah. Will you still be here when I wake up? Right outside that door, I promise. You won't leave. Not for anything. Eli's eyes started to close. I love you, Mr. Hawk. The words hit Hawk like a truck. What? I love you. I know I just met you. I know you're not my daddy, but I love you. Because you're good. You're really, really good. Hawk couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. I love you too, buddy. The words came out before he could stop them. But they were true. He'd known this boy for less than 12 hours, but it was true. Eli smiled. Okay. That's good. That's really good. He closed his eyes. Within minutes, he was asleep. Hawk stood there for a long moment, watching both children. This boy he'd found in the desert. This baby who had almost died in his arms. His children. The thought terrified him, but it also felt right. For the first time in 12 years, something felt right. He walked to the waiting area and sat down on the couch. His bones ached. His eyes burned. He couldn't remember the last time he'd slept. But he couldn't sleep now. Couldn't let his guard down. Because somewhere out there, Vincent Cole was looking for these children. And Hawk Brennan would be ready when he came. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He answered. Hello? Silence for a moment. Then a voice he didn't recognize. Is this the man who found the kids? Hawk's blood ran cold. Who is this? Someone who's very interested in those children. Someone who's been looking for them for a long time. Vincent, a laugh. Smart man, I like that. If you come anywhere near these kids, I'll kill you. Big words from a stranger. Those kids belong to me. Their mother stole them. Now I'm taking them back. They don't belong to you. They don't belong to anyone. Wrong answer. The line went dead. Hawk sat in the darkness, heart pounding. Vincent Cole had found them, and he was coming. Hawk stared at the phone in his hand. His heart hammered against his ribs. Vincent Cole knew where they were. Vincent Cole was coming. He stood up, started pacing. His mind raced through options. Run, take the kids and disappear. He knew how to vanish. 12 years of practice. But Rose was hooked to machines. She couldn't be moved. And Eli was finally sleeping. Finally safe. No. Running wasn't the answer. Not this time. He walked to the nurse's station. I need to speak to hospital security, right now. The nurse looked up. Sir, it's 2 a.m. A man is coming here to hurt those children. I need security, now. Her eyes widened. She picked up the phone. 5 minutes later, Hawk stood in front of a tired security guard and Sheriff Dawson, who hadn't left the hospital. Vincent Cole just called me. He knows we're here. He's coming. Dawson's face hardened. How did he get your number? I don't know, but he said the kids belong to him. Said he's taking them back. Over my dead body, That's what I said. He didn't seem impressed. Dawson pulled out his radio. I'm calling for backup. We'll have deputies at every entrance. That might not be enough. You said yourself Cole has connections. Bad people working for him. What do you suggest? Hawk's jaw tightened. Let me handle it. Handle it how? You don't want to know. Dawson stepped closer. I'm not letting you murder someone in my jurisdiction, Brennan. I'm not planning to murder anyone, but if he comes through that door, I'm going to make sure he never threatens those kids again. That sounds a lot like murder. It sounds like protection. They stared at each other. I can't authorize that. I'm not asking for authorization. Dawson sighed. You know I should arrest you right now. But you won't, because you know I'm the only thing standing between Vincent Cole and those children. The sheriff was quiet for a long moment. I've got 2 deputies. I'll post them at the main entrance and the emergency bay. You stay with the kids. If Cole shows up, you call me. Immediately. You don't engage. And if calling you isn't an option, then do what you have to do. But Brennan, he grabbed Hawk's arm. Those kids need you alive. Remember that. Hawk nodded. I'll remember. He went back to the pediatric ICU, checked on Eli through the window. The boy was still asleep, hand stretched through the bars holding Rose's fingers. Hawk sat down in the hallway, back against the wall, eyes on the door. He wouldn't sleep tonight. He wouldn't sleep until Vincent Cole was dealt with. The hours crawled by. Hawk watched every person who walked past. Nurses, doctors, cleaning staff. His eyes tracked every movement. His body stayed coiled, ready to spring. At 6 a.m, Eli woke up. Mr. Hawk. Hawk was at the door instantly. I'm here, buddy. I had a bad dream. Vincent found us. He took Rose. I couldn't stop him. Hawk walked to Eli's cot, sat down beside him. It was just a dream. Rose is right here. She's safe. Eli looked at his sister. She was sleeping peacefully, color finally returning to her cheeks. She looks better. She is better. The doctor said she's doing great. When can we leave? Hawk hesitated. Soon, but there's something I need to tell you first. Eli's face went pale. He found us, didn't he? Vincent found us. How did you know? Because he always finds us. Mama said he has people everywhere. People who owe him money. People who are scared of him. He called me last night. He knows we're at the hospital. Eli started shaking. We have to run. We have to go right now, before he gets here. Eli, listen to me. No, you don't understand. He's going to take Rose. He said he would. He said he knew people who buy babies and he was going to sell her and I'll never see her again. Eli was hyperventilating now. Buddy, breathe. Breathe. I can't breathe. He's coming. He's coming. Hawk pulled him into his arms, held him tight. Listen to me. Listen. Vincent Cole is not going to touch you or your sister. You know why. Eli shook his head against Hawk's chest. Because he has to go through me first. And I've been fighting bad guys my whole life. That's what I used to do. That's what I was good at. But he has guns. He has friends. I have something better. What? Hawk pulled back, looked into Eli's eyes. I have something worth fighting for. Eli stared at him. Us? Yeah, buddy, you. But why? Why do you care so much? We're not your family. Hawk thought about the question. Maybe not by blood, but family isn't always about blood. Sometimes family is the people who show up, the people who stay, the people who fight for you when nobody else will. Eli's eyes filled with tears. I've never had that before. Nobody ever fought for me. Well, you've got it now, and I'm not going anywhere. A knock at the door made them both jump. Hawk pushed Eli behind him, his whole body tensed. Who is it? Pastor Daniel Freeman. Sheriff Dawson said I should come. Hawk relaxed slightly. opened the door. A tall man in a pastor's collar stood there. Kind eyes. Gentle face. Mr. Brennan? Yeah. I run the church in Silver Creek. Ray Dawson called me this morning. Said there were children here who needed help. We don't need prayers. We need protection. I'm not just here for prayers. I'm here because I might have a solution to your custody problem. Hawk stepped back. Come in. Pastor Freeman walked over to Eli's cot, crouched down. You must be Eli. The sheriff told me about you, said you walked through the desert for 2 days carrying your sister. Eli nodded. That's the bravest thing I've ever heard. You're a real hero, you know that. I'm not a hero. I was just scared. Heroes usually are. Being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you keep going even when you are. Eli looked at Hawk. That's what Mr. Hawk said. Then Mr. Hawk is a wise man. Freeman stood up. Mr. Brennan, I've been talking to Patricia Thornton, the CPS supervisor. She wants to ship them to Phoenix. Separate placement. That was the plan, but I convinced her to consider an alternative. What alternative? Emergency foster placement, here in Silver Creek, a family I know personally. Tom and Sarah Mitchell. They've been fostering for 15 years. They specifically take sibling groups. Hawk felt a flicker of hope. Together, both of them. Together. Same house? Same family. Eli grabbed Hawk's hand. But what about Mr. Hawk? Can he still visit? Freeman looked at Hawk. That's between you and the Mitchells. But from what the sheriff told me, I don't think they'd object. When can we meet them? They're on their way now. Should be here in an hour. For the first time in 12 hours, Hawk felt like he could breathe. Thank you, Pastor. Don't thank me yet. There's still the matter of Vincent Cole. You know about him. The sheriff told me. He's put out a bolo. Every deputy in the county is looking for him. That won't stop him. No, it won't. That's why I have another suggestion. I'm listening. Let me make some calls. I know people, too. Not the kind Vincent Cole knows, but the kind who can help. What kind of people? Freeman smiled. The kind who believe in protecting the innocent. The kind who don't back down from bullies. Before Hawk could respond, his phone buzzed again. Same unknown number. He answered. What? You're still there. Good. I was worried you might try to run. Vincent Cole's voice dripped with amusement. I told you, if you come near these kids. Yeah, you'll kill me. I heard you the first time. But here's the thing, Hawk Brennan. I know who you are, former Hells Angels. Walked away 12 years ago. Been hiding ever since. Hawk's blood went cold. How do you know that? I told you. I have friends everywhere, including some of your old brothers. Scorpion. Vincent Cole knew Scorpion. The Angels and I are done. That's not what I hear. I hear they've been looking for you. Something about unfinished business. A debt that needs to be paid. What do you want, Cole? I want my property back. The girl is worth money. Good money. I've already got buyers lined up. She's not property. She's a child. She's whatever I say she is. Her mother owed me. Now the debt passes to her. Over my dead body. That can be arranged. The line went dead. Hawk stood there, phone clenched in his fist. Eli was staring at him. Was that Vincent? Yeah. What did he say? Hawk knelt down. He said a lot of things. None of them matter, because he's not getting anywhere near you. He sounded scary. Scary people are usually the weakest. They try to make everyone else afraid because they're afraid themselves. Are you afraid? Hawk thought about it. Yeah, I am, but not of Vincent Cole. What are you afraid of? Letting you down. Eli threw his arms around Hawk's neck. "You won't. I know you won't." Hawk held him tight. "I'm going to do everything I can to keep that promise, buddy." The door opened. Dawson walked in. "We've got a problem." "What now?" "Vincent Cole just crossed into the county. One of my deputies spotted him at a gas station 10 miles east." "He's coming." "He's not alone. 2 other men with him. They're armed." Eli whimpered. "It's okay, buddy. Remember what I said." Dawson stepped closer. "I've called for state troopers. They're 45 minutes out." "We might not have 45 minutes." "I know. That's why we need to move the children, now." "Move them where?" "My church." Pastor Freeman stepped forward. "It's small, but it's solid. 1 entrance, easy to defend. And my congregation, they'll protect those children with their lives." Hawk looked at Dr. Chen, who had entered behind Dawson. "Can Rose travel?" "It's risky, but if there's a direct threat..." "There's a direct threat." Dr. Chen nodded. "I'll disconnect the monitors. She'll need to stay close to the hospital. If anything changes, we'll bring her back, I promise." They moved fast. Dr. Chen prepared Rose for transport. Hawk carried Eli. 2 deputies flanked them as they made their way to the parking lot. A van waited outside. Plain. Unmarked. "Pastor Freeman's church is 5 minutes away," Dawson said. "We'll take back roads. Stay off the main highway." They piled in. Hawk held Eli on his lap. Grace cradled Rose. The van pulled out. Hawk watched through the rear window as the hospital grew smaller. His phone buzzed. Another text from the unknown number. "Running won't help. I always find them." Hawk deleted it. 3 minutes later, they pulled up to a small white church. People were already gathered outside, men and women, old and young. They formed a line at the door. "Who are these people?" "My congregation," Freeman said. "I told you, they protect the innocent." An old man with a shotgun nodded at Hawk. "Nobody's getting through that door. Not while we're standing." They rushed inside. The church was small but solid. Wooden pews, stained glass windows, a cross at the front. Eli looked around. "Is this where God lives? It's where people come to pray to him," Freeman said. "Will he protect us? He already sent someone to protect you." Freeman looked at Hawk. "Sometimes God works through people, through strangers who stop when everyone else keeps driving." Hawk felt uncomfortable. "I'm not exactly a messenger of God." "You don't have to be. You just have to be willing to stand up for what's right." Dawson's radio crackled. "Sheriff, we've got visual on Cole's vehicle. They're heading toward Silver Creek. ETA 15 minutes. Copy. All units converge on my position." Dawson looked at Hawk. "This is it. Whatever happens, those kids don't leave your sight." "They won't." Freeman's congregation spread out. Some at the windows, some at the door. All of them armed. Hawk looked at these ordinary people. Teachers, farmers, store clerks, ready to fight for children they'd never met. "Why are they doing this?" Freeman smiled. "Because it's the right thing to do. Sometimes that's all the reason you need." Eli tugged on Hawk's sleeve. "Mr. Hawk." "Yeah, buddy. I'm scared." "I know. Are you going to fight Vincent? If I have to." "What if you lose?" Hawk crouched down. "Then you run. You grab Rose, and you run as fast as you can. These people will help you. Pastor Freeman will keep you safe." "I don't want to run without you. And I don't want you to have to. But Eli, listen to me. Rose needs you. She needs her big brother. If something happens to me, you have to keep fighting. You have to keep protecting her. That's your job. That's always been your job." Eli's eyes filled with tears. I don't want something to happen to you. Neither do I. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure it doesn't. But I need to know you'll be okay. I need to know you'll keep going no matter what. Eli straightened his shoulders. I'll keep going. I'll protect Rose. I promise. That's my guy. Hawk pulled him into a hug. I love you, buddy. I love you too, Mr. Hawk. A shout came from outside. Vehicle approaching 3 men. Hawk stood up. Stay here. Stay with Rose. Don't move. He walked to the door. Through the window he could see a black SUV pulling up. 3 men got out. Vincent Cole was in the middle. Tall, mean-looking, cold eyes that had probably watched terrible things happen without feeling anything. He walked toward the church like he owned the world. Hawk stepped outside. That's far enough. Vincent stopped, looked at him. Hawk Brennan, the man who thinks he can play hero. I'm not playing anything. Those kids belong to me. They don't belong to anyone, especially not you. Their mother owed me money, a lot of money. She's dead. The debt passes to her property. Children aren't property. Everything is property if you know the right buyers. Hawk felt rage building in his chest. You're not taking them. And who's going to stop me? You, an old biker with a death wish, or maybe these farmers with their hunting rifles. He laughed. I've killed better men than you. I've taken what I wanted my whole life, and nobody has ever stopped me. First time for everything. Vincent's smile faded. Last chance, Brennan. Walk away. Forget you ever saw those kids. I'll let you live. No deal. Then you die here. Vincent reached for his gun, and that's when everything changed. Sirens. Dozens of them. Coming from every direction. State troopers poured into the parking lot. Cruisers surrounded the SUV. Vincent froze. Drop your weapons on the ground now. His 2 men threw their guns down immediately, self-preservation over loyalty. But Vincent didn't move. He stared at Hawk with pure hatred. This isn't over. Yeah, it is. Officers tackled Vincent to the ground, cuffed him, dragged him toward a cruiser. You can't protect them forever, Vincent screamed. I have people everywhere. I'll get out. I'll find them. Dawson walked up beside Hawk. He's done. We've got warrants pending from 3 states. Human trafficking, drug running, murder. He's never seeing daylight again. Hawk watched as they shoved Vincent into the back of a cruiser. Are you sure? Positive. The FBI's been building a case against him for 2 years. They just needed to find him. You led them right to him. I didn't do anything. You did everything. You stopped. You saved those kids. You stood your ground. That matters. The cruiser pulled away. Vincent's face disappeared behind tinted glass. It was over. Hawk walked back into the church. Eli was standing in the middle of the aisle, shaking. Is he gone? He's gone, buddy. They got him. He's never going to hurt you again. Eli collapsed into Hawk's arms. It's really over. Really, really over. Really, really over. Eli started crying. Not scared tears. Relief tears. I never believed. Mama said he'd always find us. She said we'd never be safe. Your mama was wrong. Not about everything, but about that. You're safe now. You and Rose, you're safe. Pastor Freeman walked over. The Mitchells are here. They've been waiting outside. Want to meet them? Eli looked at Hawk. Will you stay with me? Right beside you, like always. They walked to the door. A couple stood outside, mid-50s, kind faces, nervous smiles. Eli, the woman stepped forward. I'm Sarah. This is my husband, Tom. We've heard so much about you. Eli pressed against Hawk's leg. Are you going to be nice to Rose? She doesn't like loud noises. Sarah smiled. We have a very quiet house, and I already bought a mobile with butterflies. I heard babies like butterflies. Rose likes butterflies. She smiles when she sees them. Then she'll love her room. Tom crouched down. Eli, I know you've been taking care of your sister for a long time. That's a big job for a little guy, but you don't have to do it alone anymore. We're here to help. Can Mr. Hawk still visit? Tom looked at Hawk. Is that what you want? Every day if you'll let me. Sarah smiled. We'd like that. We'd like that very much. Eli turned to Hawk. So I can see you even if I live with them. Every single day, buddy. I promise. Eli hugged him hard. Okay. I think this is going to be okay. Hawk held him tight. Yeah, buddy. I think it is too. For the first time in 12 years, Hawk Brennan believed in the future. And for the first time in his life, Eli Walker felt safe. 3 weeks passed. Rose grew stronger every day. Her cheeks filled out. Her eyes brightened. She started kicking her legs again whenever Eli sang to her. Hawk visited the Mitchell house every single day, sometimes twice. He couldn't help himself. Tom and Sarah welcomed him like family. They set a place for him at dinner, gave him a key to the front door, treated him like he belonged there, but the paperwork wasn't moving. Patricia Thornton sat across from Hawk in her cramped office, shaking her head. Mr. Brennan, I understand your attachment to these children, but what you're asking is unprecedented. I'm asking to adopt them. What's unprecedented about that? Everything. You have a criminal record, multiple arrests, 18 months in county for assault. You were a member of a known criminal organization for over 2 decades. I left that life 12 years ago, and spent those 12 years doing what exactly? Drifting no permanent address, no employment records, no tax returns. Hawk's jaw tightened. I was finding myself. The state doesn't place children with people who are still finding themselves. These kids need stability, security, a real home. I can give them that. Where will you live? How will you support them? What happens when the Hell's Angels come looking for you? Hawk flinched. That's not going to happen. You don't know that. Mr. Brennan, I've seen the files. Your old club has a long memory. What happens if they decide to settle old scores? What happens to Eli and Rose then? I'll protect them. You can't protect them if you're dead. The words hung in the air. Hawk stood up. Those kids need me. Those kids need someone who can be there for them, long term, not just until your past catches up with you. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. I understand that you love those children. I understand that you saved their lives. But love isn't enough, Mr. Brennan. The law requires more. Hawk walked out without another word. He drove to the Mitchell house, sat in his truck for 20 minutes, couldn't bring himself to go inside. What if Thornton was right? What if his past made him a danger to the very children he was trying to protect? A knock on his window made him jump. Eli stood there grinning. Mr. Hawk, what are you doing out here? Come inside. Rose learned a new word. Hawk forced a smile. What word? Dada. She keeps saying it. Sarah thinks she's talking about Tom, but I think she's talking about you. Hawk's heart cracked. Buddy, we need to talk. Eli's smile faded. That's what adults say when something bad is happening. It's not bad. It's just complicated. Does complicated mean you're going away? No, I'm not going anywhere. Then what? Hawk opened the truck door, stepped out. I'm trying to adopt you and Rose. Make it official. Make us a real family." Eli's eyes lit up. "Really? You want to be our dad? More than anything in the world." "Then what's the problem? The lady at CPS. She says I can't. She says my past is too bad. She says I'm not good enough." Eli's face hardened. "She's wrong." "Buddy, no, she's wrong. You're the best person I've ever met. You stopped for us when nobody else did. You saved Rose's life. You faced down Vincent. You stayed with us every single day." His voice rose. "You're not bad. You're good. You're really, really good. And I don't care what some lady in an office says. You're already my dad. In here." He pointed to his chest. "Right here. That's what matters. Not papers. Not rules. This." Hawk couldn't speak. His throat closed up completely. "Come inside," Eli said. "Rose wants to see you, and Sarah made pie." He grabbed Hawk's hand and pulled. They walked inside together. That night after Eli and Rose were asleep, Hawk sat with Tom and Sarah in their living room. "I don't know what to do," he admitted. "CPS won't budge. And maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not what those kids need." Sarah leaned forward. "Hawk, can I tell you something?" "Yeah. When we first started fostering 15 years ago, nobody thought we could do it. Tom worked at a factory. I waitressed at a diner. We didn't have money, didn't have fancy degrees. People said we weren't qualified. What happened? We did it anyway. 23 kids have come through this house. Some stayed for weeks, some stayed for years. We loved every single one of them." Tom spoke up. "The system isn't perfect. It's run by people, and people make mistakes. But sometimes if you push hard enough, if you refuse to give up, things change." "I don't know how to push. I'm not good at paperwork and meetings and talking to people in offices." "But you're good at something more important." "What's that?" "You're good at showing up. You're good at keeping promises. You're good at loving those kids even when it's hard." Sarah reached over and squeezed his hand. "Don't give up, Hawk. Those children need you. And whether the papers say so or not, you're already their father." Hawk drove home that night, a small apartment he'd rented on the edge of town, feeling more confused than ever. He wanted this. Wanted it more than he'd ever wanted anything. But wanting wasn't enough. He needed a plan. His phone rang. Unknown number. His blood went cold. Vincent was in jail. This couldn't be him. He answered anyway. "Hello, Hawk Brennan." Not Vincent. Worse. Scorpion. "How did you get this number?" "I have sources. Same sources that told me you're trying to play daddy to some orphans." "That's none of your business." "Everything about you is my business. You owe a debt, Hawk. You never paid it." "I don't owe you anything." "You embarrassed the club. You walked away, made us look weak. That can't stand." "It's been 12 years. Move on." "I have moved on. To this phone call. Consider it a courtesy. A warning." "Warning about what? Stay invisible, Hawk. Keep your head down. Disappear like you've been doing. Because if you don't, if you keep putting yourself out there, adopting kids, making the news," Scorpion's voice dropped, "we'll have to remind the world what happens to traitors." "Is that a threat?" "It's a promise. You know how I keep my promises." The line went dead. Hawk sat in the darkness, heart pounding. The angels were watching. They knew where he was. They knew about the kids. Everything Thornton said was true. His past was a danger. As long as he was in Eli and Rose's lives, they were at risk. Maybe the kindest thing he could do was walk away. He didn't sleep that night. The next morning, he drove to the church. Pastor Freeman was there, setting up chairs for Sunday service. "Hawk, you look terrible. I need advice. Sit down. Tell me what's happening." Hawk told him everything. The call from Scorpion, the Seep's rejection, the fear that his presence was putting the kids in danger. Freeman listened without interrupting. When Hawk finished, the pastor was quiet for a long moment. "Can I tell you a story?" "Sure. 20 years ago I was an addict, crack cocaine, lost my wife, lost my kids, lost my church, spent 3 years living on the streets." Hawk looked at him. Me. I did terrible things to feed my addiction, things I can't take back, things that still haunt me. What changed? A stranger found me dying in an alley. He could have walked past. Most people did. But he stopped. He picked me up, carried me to a hospital, sat with me through detox, helped me find my way back. Freeman's eyes glistened. That man is the reason I'm standing here today, the reason I wear this collar, the reason I believe in redemption. What happened to him? He's sitting in front of me right now, asking if he should walk away from 2 children who need him. Hawk stared at him. I'm not. You are. You're exactly that man. The one who stops when everyone else keeps walking. The one who carries people when they can't carry themselves. But my past is in the past. What matters is what you do now. What matters is the choice you make today. The angels are watching. Let them watch. You've already faced down 1 monster for those children. Are you really going to run from another? Hawk thought about Eli, about Rose, about the way they looked at him like he was the whole world. No, I'm not running. Then fight. Fight for them. Fight for the family you never had. Fight for the man you're becoming. Hawk stood up. I need to talk to Thornton again. She won't listen. Then I'll make her listen. Freeman smiled. Now that sounds like a father. Hawk drove straight to the CPS office, marched in without an appointment, walked past the receptionist who tried to stop him. Thornton looked up from her desk. "Mr. Brennan, you can't just— I know about my past. I know about my record. I know about the angels. I know every single reason you have to say no." He sat down across from her. "But here's what you don't know. Those kids have been through hell. Their mother overdosed. Their father figure wanted to sell their baby sister. They walked through a desert for 2 days with no food, no water, nothing but each other." His voice cracked. And through all of that, they survived. They fought. They refused to give up. Because they had each other. Because Eli refused to let go of Rose no matter how heavy she got, no matter how tired he was. Thornton's expression softened slightly. "That boy taught me what courage really means. He showed me that love isn't just a feeling. It's a choice. It's choosing to keep going even when everything inside you wants to stop." He leaned forward. "I spent 12 years running, hiding from who I was, hiding from what I'd done. Then I heard a kid crying in the desert, and something changed. I stopped running. I started fighting. For the first time in my life, I had something worth fighting for." "Mr. Brennan, I'm not done. You asked me how I'll support them. I got a job. Betty's Diner, cooking. It's not much, but it's honest work. You asked where I'll live? I signed a lease yesterday. 3-bedroom house on Oak Street. There's a yard, a swing set, room for them to grow." Thornton's eyebrows rose. "You asked what happens if the angels come? Let them come. I've already faced down Vincent Cole. I've already stared death in the face. There's nothing left to be afraid of. Nothing except losing those kids." He took a breath. "I know I'm not perfect. I know my past is ugly. But I also know that I love those children more than I've ever loved anything. And I know they love me too. That boy called me his dad. That baby reaches for me every time I walk in the room. That has to count for something." Thornton was quiet for a long moment. "It does count for something." "Then give me a chance. Let me prove I can do this. Let me show you that people can change. The process takes months, background checks, home studies, parenting classes, psychological evaluations. I'll do all of it, every single thing you ask. And the angels, if they come, I'll deal with them. But I won't let fear of what might happen stop me from being there for what's happening now. Those kids need a father. I'm going to be that father. Thornton studied him for a long moment. Then she did something unexpected. She smiled. You know what, Mr. Brennan? In 20 years of doing this job, I've never seen anyone fight this hard for children who aren't even theirs yet. They are mine. They've been mine since the moment I stopped my bike. I believe you. She pulled out a file. I'm going to expedite your application. I'm going to recommend emergency placement while the adoption process moves forward. It won't be easy, and it won't be quick. But if you're willing to do the work, I'm willing to do anything. Then we'll see what happens. Hawk left the office feeling lighter than he had in days. His phone buzzed, a text from Eli. Where are you? Rose said Dada again and you missed it. Hawk smiled. On my way, buddy, on my way. He drove to the Mitchell house, walked inside without knocking. Eli tackled him at the door. You're here. Rose is in the kitchen. Come on. They ran together. Rose was in a high chair banging a spoon on the tray. When she saw Hawk, her whole face lit up. Dada. The word was clear, unmistakable. She said it. Did you hear? She said it. Hawk walked over, picked Rose up, held her against his chest. Yeah, buddy, I heard. Does this mean you're staying for real? For real? I just talked to the CPS lady. She's going to help us. Help us do what? Make it official. Make me your dad. For real. Eli threw his arms around both of them. This is the best day ever. The best day in my whole entire life. Sarah stood in the doorway, wiping her eyes. I'd say this calls for a celebration. Who wants ice cream? Me, Eli shouted. Da-da, Rose echoed. Hawk laughed. Actually laughed. Something he couldn't remember doing in 12 years. Ice cream sounds perfect. They piled into the kitchen. Tom pulled out bowls. Sarah scooped ice cream. Eli told elaborate stories about his day. Rose made a mess of chocolate all over her face. It was chaotic, loud, messy. It was family. Later that night, after the kids were in bed, Hawk sat on the porch with Tom. Thank you, he said, for everything you and Sarah have done. Don't thank us. You're the one who stopped. I almost didn't. I almost kept riding. But you didn't. That's what matters. Not the almost. The did. Tom handed him a beer. You know, when Sarah and I first started fostering, we thought we were doing it to help kids. But the truth is they helped us just as much. Taught us what really matters. Taught us that family isn't about blood. It's about choice. Eli said something like that. Smart kid. The smartest. They sat in comfortable silence. The angels, Tom said finally. You think they'll really come? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. What will you do? Hawk thought about it. Whatever I have to. I spent 30 years being the kind of man who hurts people. Maybe it's time to be the kind of man who protects them. You already are. I'm trying to be. Tom raised his beer. To trying, and to family. Hawk clinked his bottle against Tom's. To family. Inside the house, Eli was having a nightmare. Hawk heard him cry out, and was on his feet instantly. He found the boy thrashing in his bed. No! Don't take her. Don't take Rose. Eli, wake up. The boy's eyes flew open. Wild. Terrified. Mr. Hawk. I'm here. It was just a dream. Vincent. He was here. He had Rose. He was taking her away. Vincent's in jail. He's never getting out. He can't hurt you anymore. It felt so real. I know, but it wasn't. Look around. You're safe. Rose is in the next room sleeping. Everything's okay. Eli grabbed Hawk's hand. Will you stay until I fall asleep? I'll stay as long as you need. Hawk sat on the edge of the bed. Eli's grip slowly relaxed. Mr. Hawk. Yeah, buddy. When you adopt us, can I call you Dad? Hawk's chest tightened. You can call me whatever you want. I want to call you Dad. I never had a real dad before. Vincent was just Vincent. But you're different. You're what a dad is supposed to be. What's a dad supposed to be? Eli thought about it. Someone who shows up, someone who stays, someone who makes the bad dreams go away. Hawk squeezed his hand. Then yeah, buddy, you can call me Dad. Eli smiled. His eyes started to close. Good night, Dad. The words hit Hawk like a wave, like a promise, like everything he'd ever wanted and never knew he needed. Good night, son. He stayed until Eli was asleep. Then he checked on Rose. She was sleeping peacefully, one tiny hand curled around her blanket. His daughter, his son, his family. For the first time in 52 years, Hawk Brennan knew exactly who he was. He was a father. And nothing, not the angels, not the past, not anything, was going to take that away from him. 6 months changed everything. Hawk completed every parenting class, passed every background check, survived every home study. Thornton had been tough on him, but fair. She'd pushed him harder than anyone ever had, and he'd risen to meet every challenge. The adoption hearing was set for a Tuesday morning in March. Hawk stood in front of the bathroom mirror trying to tie a tie. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. Let me. Eli appeared beside him. 8 years old now, taller, stronger, but still carrying those old soul eyes. Where'd you learn to do that? YouTube. There's a video for everything. His small fingers worked with confident precision. You nervous, Dad, Dad. The word still hit Hawk like a wave every time he heard it. Terrified. Good, me too, but we're gonna do it anyway. That's what brave is, right? Hawk smiled. When did you get so smart? I've always been smart. You just weren't paying attention. They drove to the courthouse together. Rose sat in her car seat, babbling happily. She was walking now. Running, actually. Keeping up with her was a full-time job. The courtroom was packed. Pastor Freeman sat in the front row with Betty from the diner. Sheriff Dawson was there in full uniform. Tom and Sarah Mitchell had come to support them. Even Grace from the hospital showed up. Hawk looked at all these people. 6 months ago, he didn't have a single person in his life. Now he had a community, a family, a home. Judge Rebecca Martinez presided. Sharp eyes, fair reputation. We're here today to consider the petition for adoption filed by Hawk Brennan for the minor children Eli James Walker and Rose Marie Walker. She looked at Hawk. Mr. Brennan, do you understand what you're asking this court to grant? Yes, Your Honor. You're asking to become the legal father of these children, to be responsible for their care, their education, their well-being for the rest of their lives. I understand. Judge Martinez leaned forward. Tell me why. Hawk had prepared a speech, practiced it 100 times, memorized every word. He threw it all away. 6 months ago, I was nobody, a ghost riding highways that led nowhere, running from a past I couldn't escape. I'd given up on everything, on life, on hope, on myself. He paused. Then I heard a child crying. Eli squeezed his hand. This boy had walked through the desert for 2 days carrying his baby sister. Their mother was dead. A monster was hunting them. They had nothing, nobody, just each other. His voice cracked. He was 6 years old, and braver than I'd ever been in my entire life. Judge Martinez listened without expression. I stopped because I heard crying. I stayed because I couldn't walk away. And somewhere along the way, I realized these children weren't just people I was helping. They were my family. They'd been my family from the moment I got off that bike. Hawk looked at Eli, then at Rose in Sarah's arms. They saved me, Your Honor. I know that sounds backwards. I know I'm supposed to be the one saving them. But they saved me. They gave me a reason to stop running. A reason to become someone better. A reason to believe that maybe I wasn't beyond redemption, after all. His voice steadied. I want to spend every day for the rest of my life being worthy of them. Being the father they deserve. Being the man they already think I am. The courtroom was silent. Judge Martinez looked at Eli. Young man, do you have anything you'd like to say? Eli stood up straight, cleared his throat. My mama used to say that angels don't always have wings. Sometimes they have tattoos and motorcycles and scary faces. But they're still angels. His voice carried clear and strong. Hawk is my angel. He came when nobody else would. He stayed when everyone else left. He promised he wouldn't leave, and he never did. Not once. Not ever. He looked at the judge. I know he's not perfect. He burns pancakes. He forgets to buy the right kind of milk. He snores really loud. Quiet laughter rippled through the courtroom. But he never breaks his promises. He always comes when I call. He makes me feel safe. Eli's voice softened. I've known a lot of adults who said they'd take care of me. None of them stayed. He stayed. That's all that matters. He stayed. Judge Martinez was quiet for a long moment. The court has reviewed extensive documentation in this case. Mr. Brennan's criminal history, his background with the Hells Angels, his rehabilitation efforts, his community references. She paused. Every single report speaks to one thing: transformation. Genuine, profound transformation. Hawk held his breath. Mr. Brennan, you came into this process as a man with every strike against him. She smiled. You're leaving it as a father. She straightened. The petition for adoption is granted. Eli, James Walker, and Rose Marie Walker are hereby declared the legal children of Hawk Brennan, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. The gavel came down. Eli screamed, threw himself into Hawk's arms. We did it, Dad, we did it. We're a family, a real family. Rose started crying from the noise. Sarah brought her over. Hawk gathered both children against his chest. The courtroom erupted in applause. Pastor Freeman was crying. Betty was crying. Even Sheriff Dawson wiped his eyes. This is the best day ever, Eli sobbed. The best day in my whole entire life. Mine too, buddy, mine too. They walked out of the courthouse together. A family, official, legal, forever. But forever was about to be tested. Hawk's phone buzzed. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer, but something made him pick up. Hello? Congratulations, Hawk. I hear you're a daddy now. Scorpion. Hawk's blood went cold. He handed Rose to Sarah, stepped away from the group. What do you want? Just calling to offer my congratulations, and a warning. I'm not interested in your warnings. You should be. Because here's the thing, Hawk. I've been watching you. Watching those kids. Watching that pretty little church where everyone thinks they're safe. Hawk's hand tightened on the phone. If you touch them. I'm not going to touch them. That's not how this works. I'm going to give you a choice instead. What choice? Come back. One last job. Do this for me, and I'll forget you ever existed. You can play daddy for the rest of your life. And if I say no? Scorpion's voice dropped. Then I'll make sure those kids know exactly who their new father really is. Every ugly detail, every bloody secret, every person you ever hurt. They already know. Do they? Do they know about Flagstaff? About the man you beat so badly he'll never walk again? About the warehouse in Phoenix where you... That's enough. Is it because I've got files, Hawk? Photos, witness statements. Enough to make sure no court in this country lets you keep those kids. Hawk felt sick. What's the job? There's a shipment coming through Arizona next week. I need someone on the inside. Someone the cops won't suspect. Someone who's been playing good citizen for 6 months. You want me to run drugs? I want you to keep your family, that's all. One job, one night, then we're done forever. Hawk closed his eyes. Eli was watching him from across the parking lot, concerned. I need time to think. You have 24 hours. After that, the files go public. The line went dead. Hawk walked back to the group, forced a smile. Everything okay, Dad? Yeah, buddy, everything's fine. Let's go celebrate. But everything wasn't fine. Scorpion had him trapped. Do the job and betray everything he'd become. Refuse and lose the children forever. That night after Eli and Rose were asleep, Hawk sat on the porch of their new house, staring at nothing, thinking about everything. The door opened. Eli walked out in his pajamas. Can't sleep. You're supposed to be in bed. So are you. Eli sat down next to him. Something's wrong, I can tell. You've been weird since that phone call. Hawk didn't answer. Is it the angels? Are they coming? Eli. I'm not stupid, Dad. I know they've been calling. I know you're scared. I can see it. Hawk looked at his son. This boy who'd been through more than anyone should ever have to face. Yeah, it's the angels. What do they want? They want me to do something bad, something that would hurt people. Are you going to do it? If I don't, they're going to try to take you away from me. They're going to tell everyone about my past. Make sure the courts change their minds. Eli was quiet for a moment. Remember what you told me about brave. Brave means you're scared, but you do it anyway. Right. So be brave, Dad. Don't do the bad thing. But what if I lose you? Eli grabbed his hand. You won't lose me. I don't care what they tell people. I don't care about your past. I care about now. I care about who you are, not who you were. The courts might not see it that way. Then we'll fight. We fought Vincent. We fought CPS. We fought everybody. And we won. We'll win again. Hawk's eyes burned. When did you get so brave? I learned from you. Hawk pulled him close. I love you, Eli. I love you too, Dad. Now stop being scared and figure out how to beat the bad guys. That's what dads do. Hawk almost laughed. You're right. That is what dads do. He didn't sleep that night, but by morning he had a plan. He called Sheriff Dawson. I need to meet. It's urgent. An hour later, they sat in Dawson's office. Scorpion contacted me. He wants me to run a drug shipment. Dawson's eyes narrowed. And you're telling me this because I want to help you catch him. I want to end this, once and for all. You're talking about going undercover, working with the people who want to destroy you. I'm talking about protecting my family, whatever it takes. Dawson leaned back. It's dangerous. If Scorpion finds out you're working with us, then he kills me. I know. But if I don't do something, he takes my kids. That's not an option. What do you need from me? Backup, hidden, ready to move when I give the signal. And the shipment? I'll wear a wire, get Scorpion on tape, give you everything you need to put him away for life. Dawson studied him. You know, 6 months ago I would have arrested you on sight. Now you're asking me to help you take down one of the biggest drug operations in the state. Funny how things change. Funny isn't the word I'd use. Dawson stood up. I'm in. But Brennan, if this goes wrong, if you're playing me, I'm not playing anyone. I'm fighting for my family. That's all I've ever been doing. 3 days later, Hawk rode his Harley to the meeting point, an abandoned warehouse outside of town. Just like old times. Except everything was different now. He had a wire taped to his chest, deputies positioned around the perimeter, and 2 kids at home who were counting on him to come back. Scorpion was waiting inside. Older. Meaner. Eyes like a snake. You came. Good choice. I'm here. What do you want? Straight to business. I like that. Scorpion circled him slowly. The shipment arrives at midnight. You'll meet the truck at the state line. Escort it to Phoenix. Make sure it gets there safe. That's it. That's it. Simple. Easy. And then we're done. Forever. Forever. You have my word. Hawk almost laughed. Your word doesn't mean much to me. It should. I've kept every promise I ever made, including the ones about what happens to traitors. I'm not a traitor. I just stopped being stupid. Scorpion's smile faded. You think you're better than us now. Think those kids make you some kind of saint. I think they make me something worth fighting for. Worth dying for. If that's what it takes. Scorpion stared at him. You've changed. Yeah, I have. Doesn't matter. You'll do this job. You'll do whatever I tell you. Because if I don't, what, you'll release the files, tell everyone about my past. That's right. Hawk stepped closer. Go ahead? Scorpion blinked. What? I said go ahead. Release them. Tell everyone. I don't care anymore. You're bluffing. Am I? My kids already know who I was. The people in my town know. The judge who granted my adoption knows. Nobody cares about my past anymore. They care about who I am now. Hawk's voice hardened. And right now, I'm a father. I'm a good man. I'm someone who's not going to let a snake like you hurt anyone else ever again. Scorpion's face twisted. You're making a mistake. No, I made mistakes for 30 years. This isn't one of them. He raised his voice. Now! Doors burst open. Deputies poured in, weapons drawn. Sheriff's Department, nobody move. Scorpion's eyes went wide. You set me up. I chose my family. You just got in the way. They cuffed Scorpion, dragged him toward the door. This isn't over. Hawk, you hear me? This isn't over. Yeah, it is. Hawk watched them shove Scorpion into a cruiser, watched the lights disappear into the darkness. It was over. Really over. Dawson walked up beside him. You did good, Brennan. I did what I had to do. Same thing in the end. Hawk pulled out his phone, called home. Eli answered on the first ring. Dad, are you okay? Did it work? It worked, buddy. I'm coming home. You promise? I promise. He drove through the night, pulled into his driveway just as the sun was coming up. Eli was waiting on the porch, Rose in his arms. Hawk walked up the steps, gathered both children against him. It's really over, Eli whispered. Really, really over. The bad guys are gone. All of them, every single one. Eli started crying. I was so scared. I kept thinking about what would happen if you didn't come back. I'll always come back. That's what dads do. Rose patted his face with her tiny hand. Dada. Hawk laughed through his tears. Yeah, princess. Dada's home. 1 year later. Hawk stood at the same spot on Highway 93 where everything began. Eli beside him. Rose on his hip. Why are we here? Eli asked. Because I wanted you to see it. The place where I found you. Eli looked around. It looks different. Different how? Smaller, less scary. When I was walking, it felt like the whole world was trying to kill us. Now it just looks like a road. That's because you're different now. You're not scared anymore. Eli thought about it. No, I'm not. I haven't been scared in a long time. That's good, buddy. Dad, yeah, thank you. For stopping. For staying. For fighting for us. Hawk looked at his son. This boy who'd been through hell and come out the other side. This boy who'd taught him what courage really meant. Thank you for asking me not to leave. Eli smiled. Best decision I ever made. Rose kicked her legs. Dada, Eli home. They laughed. She's right, Hawk said. Let's go home. They walked back to the truck together. Eli helped buckle Rose into her car seat. Hawk started the engine. Dad, yeah, buddy, I love you. I love you too, son. Forever. Hawk looked at his children, his family, his reason for everything. Forever. He pulled onto the highway, heading home. 1 year ago, Hawk Brennan had been a ghost, a shadow of a man riding highways that led nowhere. Then a child cried out in the darkness, "Please don't leave me behind." And the Hell's Angel got off his bike. That single choice, that one moment of stopping instead of riding past, had changed everything. A broken man found purpose. 2 orphaned children found safety. A community came together. Love conquered fear, and a family was born. Not through blood, through choice, through courage, through a single word that changed everything. Stay. Hawk Brennan stayed. And in staying, he finally found what he'd been searching for his entire life. Home.